Thank you for staying with us and good morning once again. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, of course, live from Enugu, Nigeria. And good morning from the east side. I'm Nathalie Uko. And Oji is here Tuesday, one day closer to Friday, one day farther from Monday. How are you doing?
I'm okay, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Nice. My favorite color. With the flower.
Compliments
Emerald
unaccepted.
or forest green. Which one is this?
Compliment unaccepted.
Oh,
we'll go off script today. We'll go off script. After how many years? You finally drop a compliment.
Maybe because...
No, let's start the normal way. How did you feel about the protests in Abuja?
We're going to come to that.
No, already there. Let's go. Well, how did you feel about the protests in Abuja?
The protest was protested.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so of course we have headlines making the news today, and we'll head right into them and see Boji's compliments. After 2-3 months, we'll make the front covers of our dailies this morning. Yes, I clocked the tea. So let's start now. Daily Trust and top story here. Nnamdi Kanu protest disrupts Abuja. Address Nigerians on alleged coup plot. ADC to federal government. Road crashes killed 3,433 persons in 9 months, according to FRSC. NLC to government. Resolve issues with ASU, others in 4 weeks. Convention Ayawu willingly signed all documents, according to PDP. Court orders marriage between TikTokers over indecent video. Court orders marriage between TikTokers over indecent video. Nigeria imports 953 billion naira worth of sugar in 1 year. Aviation Union declares strike. On The Guardian, hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu, chaos as police disperse Abuja protesters. Southeast shuts down for Kanu. Hashtag end SARS, police reforms linger as Nigerians demand justice 5 years after. NAD strike looms as 30-day ultimatum to federal government enters final week. Nigeria needs new constitution, not amendment. Olani Kwekun tells NAS. Resolve dispute with ASU or face nationwide strike. NLC warns federal government. Teenager arrested for allegedly removing sister's eyes for money ritual. Sustained momentum, Tinubu tells judges as EFCC nets 500 billion naira, convicts 7,000. Nigeria under sustained attack from foreign propaganda, says federal government. Straight to Nigerian News Direct, NLC issues 4-week ultimatum to federal government, declares no work, no pay stance. Kano, Katsina, Jigawa to launch 50 billion naira tri-state electricity market. NUPRC remits 6.2 trillion naira to federation accounts in 9 months. And how weaponization of procedures stall prosecution of high-profile cases, according to the EFCC chair. Straight to Nigerian Tribune, NLC other varsity unions give federal government 4 weeks to resolve ASU crisis. ASU, SANU, NASU, NAT, ASU, KOESU form alliance, say no trade union will attend meeting with government officials who lack necessary mandates. Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu, security operatives fire tear gas, disperse protesters in Abuja. Relief as price of cooking gas drops to 1,200 naira per kg. Crack in ADC as party suspends South-South vice chairman. Nigeria now has 301 universities as NUC approves new university for Imo State. On Vanguard, Nnamdi Kanu, Abuja grounded as security men tear gas protesters. NLC gives federal government 4 weeks to resolve education sector crisis. Don't use coup plots to silence opposition. ADC warns federal government. We're shielding no ally. EFCC recovered 500 billion naira in 2 years, according to Tinubu. And of course, another headline here, top of that, Southeast shuts down in hashtag free Kanu protest. This is on page 12. Page 11, I beg your pardon.
Okay, New Telegraph. Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu protest. Workers, residents stranded as security operatives block Abuja entry exit points. Onitsha we Enugu roads deserted. Umaya environs shut down. Police disperse Shore's group with why we deploy tear gas by FHQ. Protests may grow bigger than Nepal's revolution, say Shore. As counter-protesters emerge, Onanuga to legal authorities sanction Kanu's lawyer for joining action. Report improved revenue from non-oil export to shrink Nigeria's fiscal deficit. US tariff impacts cost global firms $35 billion. FG targets 20,000 jobs annually as Shetima flags off NUFP 2.0 policy dialogue. I beg your pardon. PDP crisis, NWC tackles Anyanwu over signature forgery claim. Coup scare. ADC warns against opposition witch hunts. Zelensky ready to join Trump-Putin talks after Frank White House meeting. Olanipekun urges NAS to stop constitution amendment, calls for referendum. Reps to classify refineries as strategic national assets. NLC education unions forge alliance. Issue FG 4-week ultimatum to meet demands. Vow to resist government's divide and rule tactics. Tinubu rallies judiciary in anti-corruption fights. Moving over to the nation. Anambra 2025. Remain vigilant with your vote. Saludo tells supporters INEC to conduct mock accreditation tomorrow. Criminalize vote buying, Mosu canvasses. Constitution needs overhaul, not amendments, says Olanipekun. Legal giant urges National Assembly to halt ongoing unworkable process. Police to arraign 8 arrested Free Kano protesters. EFCC recovers asset worth 500 billion naira in 2 years. 7,000 convictions secured. 12,983 Union Lauren students get 1.6 billion naira NEL fund loan. FIRS RMAFC initiates recovery of hidden funds. Minister allows our reforms impacting education positively. And this one says you signed later to INEC. PDP fires back at Anyanwu. I won't quit PDP for APC, says Adeleke. Senate minority leader loses son, grandson. Platform Times. Anti-graft war. EFCC net 500 billion naira, jails 7,000 in 2 years under Tinubu. President vows no political interference in anti-graft war. Says recovered funds now funding students' loans, credit schemes. Son drags father to court over sale of house in Kano. Kano court orders Hisbah to marry off 2 TikTokers over indecent videos. 676 million women now living near conflict zone, says UN ex-governor under probe over alleged coup plot to oust Tinubu. 2 luxury cars stolen in Netherlands recovered in Lagos, Akwa Ibom. NDHS report 9 in 10 Nigerians own phones, 10% own cars. Olowu launches 2025 Odu No More Olowu showcases transformative hope initiative. Lagos APC chairmanship aspirants demand refund of nomination fees, vow support for Tinubu's 2027 bid, and NPC earns over 800 billion naira from management fees frontier fund in 9 months. Lastly, on Platform Times, 435 died, 270 injured in 1 month as FRSC flags off Ember Month safety campaign. Salient Times. EFCC records 7,000 convictions, recovers asset worth over 500 billion naira, says Shetima. Rising drug resistant infection becoming silent pandemic in Nigeria, attributed to party. PDP dismisses Anyawu's signature forgery claim. 2027 unites to rescue the country from the evils of APC. Benga Hashimu tells Nigerians. Gunmen abduct 73 residents during attack on Zamfara communities. 17-year-old arrested in Bauchi for allegedly removing sister's eyes for money ritual. Don't turn coup allegations into tool for repression. ADC warns FG. Drama as Katsina man climbs building to express anger after his in-laws took his wife away. Lastly, on salient times, FG targets 20,000 jobs annually through NJFP. Lastly, the Punch. Hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu protest wave hits Abuja, paralyzes southeast states. Abuja protesters tear gassed. Villa fortified. Federal workers barred. Southeast locked down. ADC warns against political witch hunts in coup probe. Labour gives FG 4 weeks to end varsity crisis. National Assembly mourns Army commander, soldiers killed in Borno terrorists. By Borno terrorists, I beg your pardon. Arraignment of Obi of Onitsha, orders stalled. Lastly, Osunu be honored by family, clergy, media giants at 70th birthday Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you, Oji, for those headlines. Of course, we're joined now in the studio by constitutional lawyer, property consultant, and of course, farmer, Nnadiume Awforkansi. Awforkansi, the guest. Good morning
Yes,
and welcome.
thank you, Natalia, for having me, Oji.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
I can see both of you are looking resplendent this morning.
Wow, thank you.
Maybe
Thank
just
you.
fresh from the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. Yes.
That's right, absolutely right. So let's go straight to the punch.
Yes.
Hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu protest wave hits Abuja, paralyzes southeast states. Now, there are some other headlines that say that the southeast was basically shut down for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I would like us to take a look at this relatively, beginning from what we saw led by Showore in Abuja versus what happened in the southeast. Why has the southeast evolved into a different way of handling or carrying out protests? Is the southeast even protesting, or are they just sitting at home for Kanu, or not for Kanu, for themselves?
Okay, well, you see, the protest here is of different dimensions. You see people do what we call hunger protest. You see people march on the street in protest. You see people sit at home in protest. I think that of the southeast, I think because we are here, let me start from the known before I move to the also known in Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like Enugu yesterday was actually on complete lockdown. Lockdown in the sense that you can drive from Emene to New Market if you have a good car in a space of about 3 minutes because nothing stops you.
Great that you clarified that.
So, because yesterday I left my house around that kind 9 o'clock or thereabouts. I got to my office in record 7 minutes from New Avenue Station to New Zik Avenue. It has never been like that, but it usually take me 15 minutes, 16 minutes or thereabouts. But that is about Enugu. There were skeletal movements on the streets. That's people protesting on the streets. In Oka, there was also another skeletal protest. Even though the organizers of the protest says everybody should come to Abuja, that's the epicenter of where it is going to happen. Now, Imo, I have not gotten the update in Imo yet. But then, if you look at what happened in Abuja yesterday, from the morning hours when they were assembling, you see, many of us who write on social media, I keep on posting and, pleading with the federal government not to mismanage the protest, because the protest, definitely, as far as I know, is going to go on. So, but let them not mismanage it so it doesn't snowball into something else. It was just by divine providence that it did not snowball because they mismanaged it. Because from the video evidence we saw yesterday, about 10, 15 people just well gathered with Showore, Ejimako, and a few of them. They were discussing, calling people that they are coming out, they should start coming out. Lo and behold, I had siren coming in. And then they were saying, don't run, don't run, don't run, don't run. So it was like, people became apprehensive. On cutting there, in spite of the fact the number was very, very small, what should have necessitated the tear gas? And then the shot that you had, being shot into the air. So it was actually very unnecessary. That the police mismanagement of that very protest. But lo and behold, that initial scare they created in the morning did not deter the protesters. They stopped them from here, they go to another one, until eventually Abuja was on complete lockdown. So I do believe that the silence, the desertion of streets in Enugu has a deafening silence itself. You know, there are kind of silence that will be deafening. You say you are listening silent, but then people are closing their ears because of the noise of the silence. So you could imagine that kind of thing. So at least like Abuja expressed their own by coming out, but Enugu's own, you never know what to make out of it. Whether are you going to tell people in their various houses why are they not protesting? And unlike various other cities, people staying somewhere drinking. It was unlike that in Enugu yesterday. There were virtually nobody in any of the pubs, any of the beer parlors, unless late in the evening when people started coming out.
Right. I mean, because I know on a lighter note, yes, shifting away from that, still staying in Abuja, we saw Shore burst into some kind of run. He typically ran away from the firing, the shots fired by the police and the tear gas. How did you feel seeing him run?
A good soldier who fights and runs away because he comes back to fight another day.
Some people appeared surprised that he ran. He shouldn't have run, they said.
Nobody, it is Zik that said it is only a madman that challenges somebody with a gun. With the canister of tear gas, sure I can sustain it. But with gunshot, man, if I were issues, I would also definitely have to run. But running, he still came back to fight. So that's why I say a good soldier who runs so that he can fight another day. If he has challenged them to a duel, who knows whether those policemen there, are high. If they are high and they fire him and he's dead, the highest thing you can do is to detain the policeman, maybe try him, maybe dismiss him, but then the show doesn't come back. So I do believe that what the step he took was wise in the circumstance that early morning. But that didn't stop the protest. Later in the day, it became an amorphous movement.
That's right.
And the police trying to throw tear gas that crowd that time. But I think police, they operated on wisdom. Because I now saw them hovering around the protesters with a helicopter. Following them with a helicopter, but didn't take any further action besides following them. Because when that crowd came on, that mid-afternoon, if they had used the kind of force they used early that morning, it could have snowballed into something else.
Okay.
So, but to thank God, they applied wisdom when the crowd became thick.
In an interview with police PPRO, Benjamin Hundeyi, so he was stating that the police used minimal force on the protesters. But my question is, right, is it constitutionally right that people who are actually protesting, is their civic, duty to air their grievances, with the government of the day, stating that they want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu freed, stating certainly that some other individuals who carried out this same act are free out there, hovering, doing their thing and all that, going about your businesses. But Nnamdi Kanu is still incarceration at this point in time. But my question is, right, is it even right that organization at that point in time, right there, dispersing them with tear gas? They've not even started the protest, as you stated, right? They're just trying to assemble and all that stuff, right? Where do they draw the line between the police? We even saw them attacking some pressmen.
Yes, you see, I listened to the interview of that
Benjamin
police PPRO.
Yeah.
In fact, it was disgusting listening to the young man. And I see in him an agenda, a written script of a dictator who passed out instruction to his vassals, to carry out on the proletariat. So they have to eliminate them. Now, when he was being interviewed, he was talking about using minimal force. Was there any need for force in the first place? Whether it is a minima or maxima? So that is the question I was expecting Show to ask him. Because saying that it is because why not use water? What is even the need for water? In a peaceful in the 50 states of the United States yesterday, there was also a shutdown.
Yes.
People were protesting against Trump for becoming a king, no more a president. That America doesn't run a monarchy. That America is a country of immigrants. And they should stop abandoning people and taking them back to their home, because America is going to face a lot of hunger. Because many of these people grow the food we eat here in the United States. All the states were shut down. Nobody threw any single tear gas. Nobody even because it was peaceful. People were just marching with their placards. It allowed people to express themselves. You see, the irony of this thing is that the hand of the president is written all over the suppression of protesters. The hand of the president, because even Bayo Nanuga himself, who is the presidential spokesman, because that is the voice of the president once he says anything. In fact, he first of all started condemning Aloy Ejimako for even participating in the protest, and then hailed the police for arresting him. So I was just laughing. You see, until our courts start awarding cause for malicious prosecution, police will not learn any lesson.
But I'm bringing your thoughts to that as you called out, because Aloy Ejimako was arrested. Also, Nnamdi Kanu's brother, Fine Boy, and a couple of other people. So I want to ask, I'm begging to ask this question. As an attorney right now, what could be the charges on these individuals? Because the presidency is telling the police to charge them, you know. Yes,
they even asked, the other lawyer also was arrested. He asked when Shawara got to the first headquarters, he asked them, man, what is the problem? He said they arrested some of these people, but they have made statements. He said, making statements for what? He said, well, he went to file a case in court. He said, what offense is that one? Now, somewhere along the line, now the policeman now said they were marching on, the police people said they were marching on prohibited routes. He said, who prohibited it? He said there was a court order prohibiting them from marching on certain routes. So they went on those routes that the court prohibited. So did you serve them the order? See, OJ, in law, if you are going to be affected by any order of court, you must be served that order personally. And I recall that from the fillers we got, because we were not even seeing the ex parte order. Remember, ex parte is an order you made in the absence of the other person's contribution. When we talked about the order, the fillers we got from those who say they were in court when the order was made, because nobody has seen the order yet, or that the judge insisted that he's making this interim order, but they must serve the respondents that Friday. And as at Monday, when this protest started, the protesters are known. Everybody knows Shawara. You won't say you don't know who are the protesters. You won't say it's an amorphous crowd. So Shawara was saying that even as he was standing there and they were throwing tear gas and shooting into the air, he would have not been served the order.
Right.
So what stops them serving him the order? So we want to know, that's why I talked about malicious prosecution. Let us know the charge they will give them when they go to court this morning.
Okay, so now coming to the other side of things, because it's great to also look at two sides. Now, there have been two questions that have been making the rounds on socials. First, conspiracy theory, and I'll start from there. Some people have been conspiring to say that Shawara may have delivered Kanu's lawyer and perhaps the brother to the police, because they shouldn't have been there. At least Kanu's lawyer should not have been there in the first place. That he is already, of course, defending the detained IPOB leader. And what is he doing on the protest ground? That could also constitute contempt. That is what those people are saying. What's your reaction to that?
The Kanu's lawyer is a Nigerian like me and you. Excuse me.
Sorry. Bless you.
Nothing stops him from participating in peaceful protest. No law bars a lawyer handling a matter from participating in peaceful protest. He's a Nigerian. So people saying that he shouldn't have participated, that's why it's neither here nor there. Then as to the conspiracy theory, I don't see it as being germane, because Ejimako is not hidden. He doesn't hide himself. He's always public. There's no appearance they make in court that he didn't grant a press conference. So you won't say maybe the police is looking for him.
Some have looked at the timeline and they've said things like, to justify their conspiracy, that why now, when we're supposed to see Kanu's defense coming on, that now his lawyer is in his own controversy, being arraigned in court or preparing to be arraigned in court following the statement. I mean, this is like I said, it's a conspiracy, but they're looking at the other side of things. Why now? And why was the lawyer encouraged to be on the protest ground, being counsel to Mazi Kanu in this high-profile case? Can we speak to it objectively, without emotion? Let's look at what we saw and what these people are saying on the other side.
No, I said I've weighed the two options. I said, legally speaking, nothing stops Ejimako from appearing on the protest ground, unless they want to abstain on moral grounds, on the grounds of decency. You see, like, if you're a lawyer, you're handling a land matter, and your client is telling you, Lord, come and see the land. You are not supposed to go to the land to see the land because you are not a surveyor.
That's right.
Even if you go to the land and say, this is the land, you won't make anything out of it. Unless you have a survey plan of the land and say, okay, my lord, this is the survey plan. I tender it as the exhibit, this exhibit, that. It is for the court now to make meaning out of the survey plan. So on moral ground, he might say he will abstain. After all, he has not been the only lawyer handling this kind of case. Kanagabi is also there, and very many other ones. But if he feels that he wants to participate in the protest, nothing stops him. So, but on moral ground, he can say he will not participate because it's like you are trying to fight a cause on two fronts. You are fighting it in court, you are fighting it on public opinion, on the altars of public opinion. You should concentrate on one. The argument also is germane on that ground. But like I said, it is also germane on the ground.
But some say that he ran and left Aloy to be arrested.
Conspiracy theory again.
No, well, I wasn't there when Aloy or what is called it, Showore ran away. But remember they were saying if we are going to walk by that early morning video, we have to say, don't run, don't run. You had it. But again, like I said, somebody started shooting live bullets into the air in a peaceful gathering. If you dare them and you are killed, definitely a dead man doesn't provide evidence. It is those who are living who will say what they saw. So, and somebody who kills you has killed you, and even if the person is killed, you who was killed didn't come out. So I think, like I said, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. If I were in the protest ground, even as
the question, no, Barrister Nnadiume, you've already established that. My question is, those conspiracy theorists are saying that he ran and left Aloy to be arrested.
But
that's my question.
Remember, it is not only Aloy.
Is that a possibility?
Remember, it was, no, there's no how to find the mind's consumption on the face. Whatever is in the mind of Showore is blessed not to Showore. I won't read that to his mind.
Do you trust his intentions? Do you trust that the intentions for having that protest at that time, at this time, was germane? Was it in the germane interest of freeing, attempting to free Mazi Kanu? Or is there another side of this whole debate?
There should be genuine intention for one reason, or for two reasons. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's trial had dragged from 2021, where he was extradited from Kenya till now. Why they are trying Nnamdi Kanu for making broadcasts, according to them, inciting felony for people to, uptake the government. They now went and brought people who actually do the actual shooting, wiping out villages and negotiating with them. They now went to the prisons and discharged about 175 felons that has already been convicted. Moral ground demands that people should not ask federal government questions. If you are normal, you should ask federal government, what then is the offense of this one you are keeping here? After all, Sunday Igboho, all we know, was also being tried for the same offense. The other Mieti Ala guy, I will still remember his name, was also being tried for the same offense. And these things were matters inherited from Buhari's administration by Tinubu. And Tinubu stopped their own. Why this one? As me want to try him. You shouldn't now bring other things to the public to show that there are two different laws for two different citizens of one country. That is what people... So the protest, in fact, from my own intentions, I do believe that the intentions of the protesters was germane.
All right.
Because things that happened in between the period of the time Tinubu came in and now, vis-a-vis the continued rigmarole in the Nnamdi Kanu's trial, lends itself to this kind of protest.
Yeah. Okay, so now you've established where you stand on this. Away from there, let's move to the alleged coup plot. Now, the federal government has not openly come out to address it, but we've seen the defense headquarters come out and say they never ended the Independence Day parade because of an alleged coup plot. That this was done in the best interest of, for their own reasons that they reeled out. But now we're seeing the ADC urging the federal government to come out and address it. Was there a coup plot or was there not? So you're saying there's not a coup plot, but on the other side, we see headlines that say that an ex-governor is now being, the news is leading to that ex-governor yet to be identified, right? What's your take? Do you stand with the ADC? Should President Bola Tinubu come out and address Nigerians on this alleged coup plot?
But you should also know that from the period of 2015 to date, everything that the party in power do in that Sorok sometimes is concealed in open secrecy that eventually boomerang against them. You recall when, I think it was the chief of army staff who was sick then, and they said the man is normal, that he has no problem. Then they say they flew him out. Sometimes they say he died in a hospital in Lagos. You see, it is always open when you are the leader of a given group of people to always tell people the simple truth, so they know where to start judging you from. You are hiding that there is a coup scare or a coup rumor or a coup attempt. People that are being arrested and people who are being arrested have friends. It's not like you come here and tell me that somebody stormed Afia TV on air and arrested Awforkansi here. And you deny arresting Awforkansi. And maybe my wife gets across to you. He said, yes, my sister, we were on air when these people stormed the studio and picked your husband. Already, you know I've been picked. But the person who picked me, he denied he didn't pick me. Oji will confirm to my son that I was picked from the studio here. And yet, the police that picked me, I still deny. So what does it make sense? So you know that such things cannot be hidden. Tell us, yes, there was a coup scare, or there was a coup rumor, or there was a coup attempt. People are being questioned. After questioning and interrogation, we will know whether it is true or not. So what does it take away from you? Why hide it?
Yeah. But this conversation springing up at this point in time, you know, some of our brothers now surrounding us, by the way, from the Sahel, we'll be hearing about coup and how, they oust the presidents and all that. And we're having this conversation now in Nigeria. What does this tell you?
Well, it tells you that Africa is waking up. That's how I interpret it. Africa is waking up. Because if it can happen in Burkina Faso, happen in Mali, happen in our neighboring Nigeria, and happen in Madagascar, what stops it happening in Nigeria if it happens here?
That's right. All right, Awforkansi, thank you so much for joining the program. It's always so great to have you. I mean, so many insightful thoughts, and I wish you could go on forever, but sadly, everything that starts must come to an end.
Definitely.
Even life itself.
Definitely.
So the Mapu coming to arrest on air. Thank you once again. All right, the morning show would continue after this quick break, and when we come back, we'll show you sights and sounds from the southeast region during the protest. Like Awforkansi pointed out during this session, he is not sure what happened in Imo, if Imo came out to protest, but he was sure of pockets of protest in Umuahia and in Owerri, not Oka as well, in Umuahia and Oka, but he's not sure about Owerri. So we'll find out in just moments if there was such a thing as a silent protest or a physical protest outdoors. Stay tuned.